All right, guys, I was sorry this has taken so long for our conversations this summer in the archery shop. I told you guys I'd make a video for you explaining my mobile setups, and hopefully I can answer all your questions, not just private message me and I'll see what I can do for you. This is what I was running last year. Running 4 sticks, Lone Wolf Custom Gear sticks, all 4 of these together, and 3-step aider. I was able to get to 22, 24 feet. The weight on these sticks with 4 of them, as they're wrapped now, I have a little sling because they don't fit in my pack. They're 6.9 pounds. My pack with everything I carry, which I'll break that down in a little bit, is another 10 pounds. And then you add the saddle, which is another 2.5 pounds, which you're wearing, so you really don't feel that. That's what I was running last year for places where I really couldn't get the climber. So you can tell that's only a pound less. This whole Lone Wolf system here with the little pack on it only weighs 17.5 pounds. So last year I was pretty much using that 60% of the time and 40% of the time for the saddle. Now I changed things up over the summer and practiced a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm using now. I'll break it down a little bit for you. All right, this is the setup I'm using this year. I was talking to you guys about one sticking. You can Google that, or there's plenty of YouTube videos on how to do it. I'm using the Phantom saddle. I also have an H2 saddle that I use when it gets a little colder. It doesn't breathe, doesn't have the mesh that this does. It's a little more solid, a little warmer. This whole pack right here only weighs 12 pounds. And that's with everything I take into the woods. And it's a sling pack. It just goes on my back and that's it. Wear that and have this, and then I one stick up the tree. So far, I've only had my stand out once. I found that I'm getting older. I'm 51 now, and I know a couple of you guys are up there in age too. I find it easier to one stick than it does using a hand climber. Now my sitting climb, I got a big climber that I use. If I'm going to sit all day, it's more like a recliner, but that's only for if I'm going 400 or 500 yards from the truck. If I'm going, I've gone already as far as 3 miles from the truck so far this year with this setup. If I'm going way back in, this is what I'm taking, and I'll break down the pack here of what everything's in it, and I'll break down what I have in the saddle pouches as well. Okay, yes, believe it or not, everything you see here on this table easily fits into this pack. I have a couple cheap, really cheap knee pads I got off Amazon. I think they were like 16, 17 bucks. I use them for resting my knees up against a tree. This pack is actually, I don't know if they sell them anymore. I think it's made by a company called 3V Gear. I think it's called a Sling Pack by 3V Gear or something like that. They're cheap too. I think this thing was only like 22 bucks. My platform that I put my feet on, that's the original tethered, I think it's called the Predator platform. That just wraps around the tree. This is what I'm used to climbing. This is a 3-step aider. I'm kind of on a vertically challenged side, as you guys know, so my step spacing is only 15 inches apart. But I can put this thing up on a tree at about 6 feet. 6.5 feet to start, and each move after that is about 5.5, 6 feet. I'm averaging 4 moves. 4 moves, I'm getting my feet on the platform, because I put this about 1.5 feet above that. I'm averaging, my feet is at 24 feet. I don't like to hunt higher than that. I can go up to 30 feet if I want to. I have enough rope. I don't like to hunt higher than that because I don't like the shot angles for getting a double lung. This here is Dynaglide. I actually use this. The only use this is to pull my rope out of the tree. Once I hook it to the back side of this and I pull the rope through itself to get out of the tree. Things that I must have when I'm hunting is a thermocell with refills. I have this back band for my saddle. It's just more like a sit back for a recliner. Range finder's a must. Food and drink, you definitely need something to drink. You can go a long time without food. You can't go too long without water or some kind of liquid. So I usually carry that with me. My kill kit, my license, my rope. You got to give yourself, if you're going to buy rope, I bought a little over 40 feet. You need 18 inches. This is what's called a scaffold knot, and this is a quick link. The quick link's rated at 15,000 pounds. This rope is Tuffelberg 8mm rope. It's rated, I think it's a little over 5,600 pounds, but you lose 30%. Anytime you tie a knot into a rope, you're going to lose the strength of the rope a little bit. It's 30% with this scaffold knot. Now, I did some of the research. You guys can do it on your own. I mean, anytime you climb a tree, you're going to do it at your own risk. I mean, take that into consideration before you do anything. Anytime you climb, you're taking a risk of falling. I'm using, this is a Mad Rock Safeguard. I'll hook this to my tether like this up against my bridge actually, and you pull on this lever and it lets line out, and that's how I rappel down. Now I always back this up. I have Prusik and another carabiner in my pouch of my saddle that I'll put down below this as I'm climbing. Once I get to height, I'll actually switch it over and put above this, and I take the pressure off of this. I don't like hanging from a mechanical device. It actually pinches the rope, it ruins your rope over time, but whereas a Prusik will squeeze your rope over a larger distance and it don't wear your rope out. And that Prusik that I'm using, and that's rated for over 5,000 pounds as well. I'll show you that when I empty my saddle. But with this, I can easily, the other week I was hunting with a friend of mine, and I was in a tree that had like 7 or 8 limbs before I got to my hunting height. And I just go around them with my lineman's belt, and you can hunt any tree you want, and I can easily get on any tree 24 to 30 feet with this and then rappel out. What I like about this is by the time, like with my climber, by the time I get my climber up around the tree, I can be halfway up the tree using this method. And it's easier for me. It's less exertion, I work up less sweat, and it's just plain easier than using my hand climber. A lot of people think it looks difficult, but it's not. You just trust your system, trust your ropes, and just relax. That's all you got to do. So I'll put this together and I'll kind of explain what I have in my saddles as well. All right, these are the 2 saddles that I was telling you about that I'm running. I use this one early season, like again, because I said it's got mesh. It's a little cooler. The lineman's belt, it's 8mm Oplux, I believe this is. It's almost as strong as a Tuffelberg, and you really can't tell the difference if you look at the 2 ropes. They look exactly the same, but this is I think like 500 or 600 pounds. Has less strength than the Tuffelberg. Or you use a Kong duck for easy. You can pull the rope through one way real easy, and then when you hook onto your lineman's loop on the other side, it holds you. And I use this to go around limbs and stuff like that. Same thing with the H2. I'll use this when it gets cooler. The only difference is I'm not using a Kong duck. I just have a cheap Prusik knot, and I jerry-rigged a tender here. Basically, it's just a little eye, figure 8, and then you tie a piece of paracord on it, and that'll actually slide your Prusik up and down. Basically, it's auto-adjust, same thing. I keep an extra carabiner and a couple of these Prusik cords. These are, I believe, 35 or 36 inch. They're called Beal Jammies. And these are one of the few cords I could find that were full rated. In other words, 35 centimeter. I'm sorry, they're not 35 inches, 35 centimeter. These are full rated. They're like 22 kilonewtons, which is over 5,000 pounds. And, if I'm going to be hanging my life from a tree, I want to be hanging on something that's going to, definitely hold me. So again, this one I run early season. I've been running it so far this season. I shot my first few deer out of it this year so far. This one I'll probably switch over once it gets a little cooler. This is a gear hanger. I got it as a gift. I'm not sure, but I think the company is called Innovating Outdoors or Innovative Outdoors or something like that. But this thing's pretty slick. I'll show you how it goes onto a tree there. But this hangs everything I need to in a tree, and it's light. I think it's actually, I think the material, I think it's 3D printed. I believe it is. I may be wrong, but it's really, really light, but it's strong. So we'll show you what that looks like on a tree. That's all I carry in these pouches. These two and extra carabiner. And when I want something on a tree, I'll throw my phone in here. I got extra pouches and stuff like that, but I believe in, if you don't need it, don't bring it. You know, that's travel light. That way you can get back in there where everybody else is not going. All right, here's that little gear hanger I was talking about. It is Innovating Outdoors. I texted a guy that gave it to me. He gave it to me. I put new strings and cables on a crossbow that he blew up, and he gave this to me. I like the thing. I mean, I don't know if I'm assuming they're still in business, but it works because it holds my bow nice. I had a hiss strap with one of those little carabiners, and it was hard to get your bow on and off the little clip, hero clip I think they're called, and it was a pain in the ass when I don't want to be fiddle-faddling around when I got a deer in shooting range. But basically it has this little hook, you wrap it around and then you cinch it right here, it keeps it tight. I usually keep my rangefinder just hanging right here, and then I have my quiver in case I need to get a follow-up shot. I can get an arrow fast, and then I keep my bag hooked onto the back of it, and then I'm just sitting there hanging. I keep my tether right here, and I'm just hanging off a tree from my tree saddle, and it's light, quick, mobile. That's what I like about it. Like I said, if you don't need it in the woods, don't take it. I see there's guys take a lot of stuff in the woods that they don't use. This little setup's done pretty good. 380 grain arrow, and I've blown through several deer this year so far with it. At 53 pounds and a 26.5 inch draw length, it's been working pretty good for me. So again, sorry I been so late getting this video out for you. I tried to answer some of your questions when you were down in the shop this year. Again, I know a couple of you guys are older. You know, I'm 51, I ain't in the best shape in the world, but I do this and it's a lot easier. Now, a sit and climb climber, there is no hands down. That's going to be the easiest way to get up a tree. Or if you have someplace private ground where you can, you know, put preset sticks up and, you know, have someplace where you can go, you know, and just slip up a tree. But I know 2 of you lost your land this year and you're going to be hunting public land. And if you're hunting public land, I mean, I've found that this is the easiest stuff to carry in, the easiest way to get up a tree, especially if you're going far back in. If you're hunting, you know, 300, 400, 500 yards from the truck, then by all means take a sit and climb climber. I mean, that's the easiest way to get up a tree for us old folks, or older gentlemen, and they're usually more comfortable. Now, I got to say, you know, you got to change positions a little bit with the saddle, but I've sat, you know, all day sits already last year with it, and I've had no problems. And especially if you get a saddle, get a back band. That's a must. That's 100% a must. You know, it takes all the strain off you, and you can just sit there and relax, basically like you're sitting in a swing almost. So if you got any questions, just, you know, email me, text me, message me, whatever you need to do. I mean, hopefully I answered everything for you. And like I said, if you ever want to stop by and try some of this shit out, you know, you're more than welcome to. Take care and have a great day.